LeBron did what? I didn't hear about this.
He won his fourth NBA championship last night. And one of the things he said when he was getting the trophy was, I want my damn respect. And it sat in my head like all night. And I was running this morning and I was thinking about that comment. And I'm like, what has changed between LeBron winning his fourth NBA championship and Michael Jordan, who ended up winning 6? And I was thinking, how we communicate has completely changed from the Jordan era, which ended in 98. And Jordan came back for the Wizards a couple of times, but the real Jordan era ended in 98 versus LeBron in 2020. We have an over-opinionation of everything.
I disagree with that, Rob. I don't think that's right at all. In fact, I believe that you are completely wrong.
Exactly.
Hashtag wrong, hashtag sad, hashtag check your facts.
Hashtag both. Throw that in there while we're at it.
Oh.
What?
No.
So what else is, so the not only, but we have social media, right? There was no social media when Michael Jordan played basketball. Michael Jordan kind of ushered in, it was really Magic and Bird that ushered in the modern NBA era in the 80s. So they were regarded as the best, but there was two at the same time. It was Magic and it was Bird. Jordan comes in and Magic obviously got HIV and he stopped playing, I think in 91. And Larry Bird hurt his back in like 87. So after 87, he was never the same. So it was right for a player like Jordan to take over the league, win 6 championships in 8 years, 2 years, he was out of the league. No social media. And if you think about the news media back then, in particular the sports media, ESPN was basically Sports Center. It was reporting as to what happened. It wasn't an opinion-based network. Now, social media is opinion-based, and ESPN is an opinion-based network. So all they do all the time is compare LeBron to Michael Jordan. So LeBron has switched teams. Michael Jordan didn't until after retiring from the Bulls. So because of that, that has given people a reason to opine that LeBron is not as great as Jordan.
What about statistically? I mean, is there a comparison?
Different, but the league is different.
In what way?
How the game is played is different. The defensive rules are different. You used to be able to put 2 arms on a player when you used to be able to defend someone like this. You can't do that anymore.
Right.
So the rules are different. LeBron's stats are amazing. Michael Jordan's stats are amazing.
Yeah. I think the big difference, honestly, is because number one, just people like to be naysayers. There's significance, or you get more clicks. That's, you get more attention if you're confrontational in your opinion. But yeah, but also I think LeBron is just a lot more outspoken. You compare, yeah, he's of our generation. In fact, he's technically a millennial, I think. Yeah, he's definitely a millennial. But he's just someone who's more willing to stand up and speak up for what he believes in or doesn't believe in. Whereas Michael Jordan was like, I'm just going to, just shut up and just play basketball, and a lot of times that's what he really did. He just was like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on doing this and I'm going to leave all that out here. Whereas LeBron is trying to bring his whole self, as we talk about bringing his whole self to what he does. He is not a basketball player. He's LeBron James, and he just happens to play basketball. And I think so often we forget that, and we want to put people and what they do, or we want to put them in these little boxes and expect them to stay in their little box and be quiet.
But it's how we communicate about that.
Yeah.
That has changed from the Michael Jordan era. So it's literally in 20 years, the difference in how we communicate.
Oh yeah.
And why LeBron is looked at differently. Why can't we just say, wow, we lived through the Michael Jordan era, which was amazing for the NBA. And here we get to witness a kid who started at 18 years old and took over the league. Mm-hmm. We can't just celebrate both and go, man, basketball has been really phenomenal for 30 years with amazing athleticism and amazing accomplishments. But
well, I think, like, as you talk about it, it's interesting how I think for people who are Jordan fans, I think the challenge here is like they don't want LeBron to be conceived better than Jordan. Where from a mindfulness standpoint, I would challenge those people to say, why can't they both be winners? Like, why does one person having an accomplishment make another person's accomplishment any less important? Why can you not both be winners, be fantastic, be great at what you do? That doesn't make Jordan any less awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, what, you know, you can straighten another person's crown and still wear your own proudly. So I guess I would challenge you to say, like, why do you feel so defensive about who is the better player? Why can't they both be fantastic players?
And when you talk about something, who's the greatest, it's super subjective. There's no way to actually compare the two because there are different ages. They didn't play at the same time. The stats are different. The game is different. The pace is different. So you can't actually say beyond a reasonable doubt one's better than the other.
No. I think that there's room to celebrate that and beyond. I mean, and then also look to, like, who's going to be the next amazing athlete like them that's going to remind us of, because LeBron, you know, from the time he started playing, they were like, oh, he's like the new Jordan, right? They were always comparing. You know, why not allow each person to kind of have their own magic about them? I mean, magic, like Magic Johnson, right? Because Jordan was compared to Magic.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's an interesting thing from a Stoic comparison as well, or from a Stoic view, that I can see how LeBron can be frustrated by this. I can completely understand and sympathize with that. And the fact that he said, I want the respect I'm due, you know, I think from a Stoic philosophy, they would go, they'd be like, you know what, be happy with, you know, be content with what you have been given and the gifts that you have and how you're able to share them. And if you're demanding something more, then what is that trying to fill? So I understand. I mean, it's human to go, hello, over here, what the hell, you know, recognize me for what I've done. But from the Stoic perspective, they might say, like,
well, I think probably the Stoics would say, like, don't say anything about the haters. They would probably say, just rejoice in your accolade that you have.
Exactly.
You know, and just be proud of the accomplishment and allow that accomplishment to stand on its own. Because in a way, to, like, stand up and say, I want my respect. You will respect me. You mean, like, it's counterintuitive, right?
Right.
You're telling someone that they need to respect you.
Yeah, and you know, and it also puts a tarnish on the accomplishment. It's like, just to your point, just focus on the accomplishment. Let the accomplishment live and breathe on its own and for itself. Because the moment you add a but in there, then, you know, that's gonna dull the shine on that accomplishment. Because now you're putting a condition onto the success rather than just letting the success be what it is.
But is it a chicken and egg thing? So for LeBron,
but he knows he's the best. He's said it himself. So why do you need other people to tell you?
But is it a chicken and egg thing, right? It's going back to what Sierra said. It's that constant comparison to him to Jordan, him to Jordan, him to Jordan. So he's been compared all his entire life. So he's outspoken. He's a black man in America speaking out amongst issues that are important, that are going on right now. George Floyd, Colin Kaepernick. So he's taking a stand on those. So him saying, I want my damn respect, is in a sense bigger than just the sport, because he has decided to weigh into social issues and take a leadership role in those positions. So he gets crap for that too. So he gets comparisons to Jordan. He gets crapped on because he switched teams, and he's now won a championship with 3 teams, which is, you know, as a lead, is unheard of. But he's now led 3 teams to championships, including his hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. And he's outspoken on issues. So he gets resistance every time he does something.
Well, but isn't that, I mean, that's just what you get when you choose to step into those leadership roles. If you're saying, I demand respect, you owe me respect, no, that's never going to work. You have to earn it. And I'm sure in his view, he says, I have earned it. I've been doing this. I've been saying the things. I've been doing the work, whatever it might be. You know, I deserve respect. And it's like, no, just realize that you're going to earn it once you're ready to earn it. And you may have very well earned it from the people who do appreciate you, and recognize that you're never going to earn it from people who are always going to be comparing you or viewing you as a competition to the person that their beloved player.
The reality is, haters gonna hate.
Mm-hmm.
And
you gotta shake it off, like Taylor Swift says.
Shake it off and take a page from Howard Stern. I remember Howard Stern said, people either love me or they hate me. If they love me, they tune in to listen to love me. If they hate me, they tune in to hate on me and trash talk me. But either way, they're listening.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're never going to make everybody happy. You're just not. And to your point about the leadership is, you know, and I feel like when you muddy the waters of basketball, it was a basketball accolade, right?
Yep.
It's not a comment. It's not an award based on his social justice fight. It's not an award based on civil rights or equal rights. It's a basketball award. And so to muddy those waters of those different aspects of what you do in your job, it kind of discounts from the basketball playing part, which is the award, which is the point. And I know what you mean, but it's like when he kind of sees himself as both of those things and he wants to be the best at both of those things to everybody, there's a lot of people who they don't even really know. They may never didn't really follow Jordan's career. They're like LeBron's career. I just really love Jordan. Or heck, I don't care about either of those two guys. Magic Johnson is still the best guy. Larry Bird is still the best guy. You know, a little Pee-wee guy, he's the best guy. Like, these are just opinions.
Right.
It's just an opinion. And so I think when you look at the Stoic aspect is if he just continues to live virtuously, playing the best basketball game he can and making the social decisions that he feels are right, then what does he need to seek other people's approval for?
Preach.
Yeah. And then for us to go back to what you said, Sierra, about the mindfulness aspect of it, and I think this would be my final point, is it's how we communicate about our attachment to our opinions that drives this division. So think about what we just did here. There was clearly different takes on LeBron. It's about expressing those opinions, communicating your truth, your feelings, your opinions about those, but not to the point where you're wrong, you're an idiot, I'm going to call you a name because of that emotional attachment to it. If you have an opinion, that's great. If LeBron has an opinion on anything and he wants to share it, that's great. It's about us and our attachment to either our feelings about LeBron and how we communicate those that makes it impossible to have a discussion in some ways about whether it's LeBron versus Jordan or whether or not it's LeBron should speak out on George Floyd or anything else. Because some people say, oh, athletes should just be athletes. Why? There's no rule.
Right.
So it's everything has become, at least in the media context, as far as communicating it, it's rewarded to be emotionally attached to your opinion to try to cancel out the other side.
Right.
Or even Trump, Trump and Biden.
100%.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's that emotional piece of it. And, you know, we know that when we get to somebody's emotional attachment, you know, where they were when Jordan did this, how they remember their emotional connection to the same event that everybody witnessed, but it was different, is you hit a nerve, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
So LeBron, keep being LeBron, baby.